Hi everybody, welcome back to the Alba Smiling Faces podcast, brought to you by Guillermo Clothing and GEORDIE Gifts. We've got new microphones, we're warning you now, so you might not be able to hear it. Hopefully you can, well, if anyone wants to go by this Arsenal game.
When it kicks off later on, like maybe a blessing.
When it boots off, aye. So
it'll be temperamental, these microphones as well. Because
So-
they're called Deborah.
they're called Deborah.
Deborah, the microphone.
Deborah Bar.
Deborah Bar, right. So, yeah, I don't want to focus too long on this one. I've got a feeling that you two are going to have a bit of a clash tonight.
I hope so.
But we'll start, obviously, the starting lineup. De Branco was obviously in there. We saw the two wing-backs, the
Thank
new
Christ
lads.
for that, eh?
The two new wing-backs coming in. Lazaro on the right-hand side, and Danny Rose on the left-hand side.
Thank Christ for that, eh?
What for what?
Are you just going to say it for every single
Not for everybody.
position? All right, okay.
Oh,
Midfield, defence, the back three. Were you shocked at that, or was it what you were expecting?
It's kind of what I expected. I think Bruce tends to stick with him when he thinks they're playing okay. And I don't think there was reason to drop Fernandez, Clark or Lascelles.
Yeah, I know them.
Yeah, I mean, Lejeune came back over Christmas and had a bit of a time, like, didn't he?
Yeah.
And Shaw's been hit and miss as well since he came back.
Were you just reading his pictures? Did you realise what you were doing there?
Something like that crisp just after.
How
sorry.
rude.
Like your head
like that?
really went.
I just seen the
You
lips come up.
might as well
that was
just
all.
picked it up later.
Sorry, I just seen the lift. I was like, oh, aye. And then
Story of your life, innit, mate?
Amy best.
Amy,
Brilliant.
HR.
I just looked and I was like, oh, someone's yeah. Hi, Amy.
That's amazing.
Sorry.
That's amazing. So yeah, obviously,
It's the only time we'll all be laughing. I tell you what it is in this one.
I know back three. Obviously, I don't think you're gonna have any.
I don't know, there was a fair bit of comedy in the game to laugh at.
Well, the back three, I don't think there was anything really to be concerned about at the start of the starting lineup. I don't think you can disagree.
I think they're all there on merit. As I say, Shaw's looked a little bit hit and miss since he came back from injury. Lejeune certainly has. Looks like he's lost loads of weight, Lejeune. I'm not convinced he's all right.
Very slim, doesn't he? Yeah.
The only concern that I had, I wasn't concerned that three of them played, but the only thought about it is there's no ball playing central defender in there, and particularly against Arsenal, who do like to play football.
Fernandez isn't terrible, but I know
No,
what you mean. Like, he's high. I think he's the best of the three, but the bar's not particularly high there. Like.
Yeah.
Would you have thought, you go back last season, say, like, Shea can't get in ahead of Clark? I'm not blaming Clark, I'm just saying you would have never thought that, would you?
No.
Never, you would have thought Shea would have been in. He probably even ahead of Fernandez, to
And
be
if
fair.
anything, Clark's probably been most consistent and reliable.
Yeah, you could probably argue with that.
I
Yeah.
don't think anyone would have had him in the first team this season. You look at
Well, even at the start of the
fit.
season, I said
Sell him,
to sell him.
yeah.
get some funds in. Yeah. But he's
But
had
no,
a
he's
great
been-
season.
he's
He
been
has
excellent.
had a great
No,
season.
he's
Been cracking, yeah.
Did he score a couple of goals early on in the season?
Yeah.
he did.
Oh, he did. He scored important ones as well.
Yeah,
Yeah.
did he?
Even last season, he used to come in and he was scoring the odd goal here and there. Then he would get dropped. That was just the way Rafa used to rotate things, though, wasn't it? You know,
Midfield, obviously Bentaleb was in there, and Longstaff kept his place after the Oxford game where he played number 10 role.
That was a bit of a surprise, if I'm honest.
Yeah.
But there was rumours of
Hayden's not.
Hayden maybe having a bit of an injury. So whether that played into it, I don't know. But
So what would you went for?
I just missed me both with me water there.
yeah, I would have had Hayden in there, like Hayden and Bentaleb.
Then obviously front three picks itself, doesn't it?
Unfortunately, I suppose it does, yeah.
It's your only options, really, isn't it?
Yeah.
So let's just go straight ahead with the first half. It was decent.
First half hour was great. They
Yeah.
got at them, they were attacking quite well. They weren't just sitting back.
Yeah.
Because Arsenal before Arteta, Arsenal were really, really struggling defensively.
Yeah.
He showed things up a little bit, but Newcastle they got at them a little bit and had a few chances, and you think, oh, this looks okay, this.
Yeah.
The first 20, 30 minutes, our shape was fantastic.
Yeah.
Like, especially when they had the ball, you've seen us very, very quickly have a very good midfield line of four across. If anything, I thought maybe Almiron and St. Maximin were coming in a bit narrow into the four and sitting there. But, I mean, you could draw a line straight across them, which was great. And they were then pressing from there as well and not letting Arsenal play, which was meant they were then having to play in front of our midfield.
Yeah.
And Xhaka looked awful in there, and he was giving away stupid fouls and stuff like that because...
You can say that against the majority of their midfield in that first half.
Yeah.
We done a quick podcast last night after the game, and it was just constant fouls on Miggy, on Saint, just looking to stop them making the break, and that's what it summed up the first half.
And it's because we were doing good stuff that I'd want to see do more often, which is closing down the players when they're in possession and in playing higher up the pitch.
Yeah. I think the worrying thing for me is we're picking the ball up halfway line, then breaking from there, but it's only Saint breaking or Miggy breaking, rather than playing them through further up the pitch.
Yeah.
They literally have to do all the graft, don't they?
Yeah, because I disagree slightly with what you said. I felt sometimes we were still very, very deep, and I felt that Arsenal were very comfortable. The first 20 minutes, you could probably say was the best we've maybe played, other than West Ham, in my opinion. But I felt that Arsenal were playing quite slowly in the build-up,
Yeah,
which of
is
course
what
just
Arsenal,
was brilliant
Arsenal
for us.
do.
It just was great for us to set up. I felt that we could have done even a little bit more. Like, do you know what I mean? I felt like sometimes we were letting them settle on the ball a bit much. Lazaro wasn't. He was trying his best with that young one on the first half. He was trying his best.
Yeah.
Or that on the left, he had him in his pocket. I thought the first half. But as the first half went on, we were allowing Ozil more and more space in the middle.
Ozil changed his game a little bit in his position, and he went from playing in midfield to getting up further and
He was
supporting the what's he called, the striker, Nketiah,
Yeah.
supporting him. So he was like going a number 10 role kind of thing of sitting in there between, and we never deal with that very well at all when they're sitting between
our
the
back
defender
in,
and the defensive midfield, regardless of how deep our midfield like to sit as well. It's almost that they like to have people in front of them, but as soon as somebody goes behind them, they just forget about it.
It's unbelievable when you think of that. You've got 3 centre-halves with 1 striker, right? Because
Pretty much,
that young kid, right?
pretty much.
So if you've got Ozil playing in that space, it's quite surprising that one of the centre-halves, I'm not saying go and mark him, but at least be around him, do you know what I mean? And then obviously you've still got 2 centre-halves left for the only striker on the pitch, but they didn't do it. But but to be fair, we posed a bit of a threat, I felt, as well. Saint, more so, Almiron did an amazing run in the first half. But again, the issue that we're finding is them 2 lads are really busting their gut to do all the hard work. There's just nobody in the box, man. There's nobody up there supporting them.
I think a problem that we've got is that they're just so fast on the break. How
Well, how can
can somebody keep up with them? But why don't the midfield follow? Which is a problem we've always had. Is the midfield just stop? I mean, how many weeks have we talked about the fact that our midfield just like to play in their own half and go at the halfway line? Even when we're trying to strike, get forward and get into striking areas, they'll just stand on the halfway line.
What you'll find with Bentaleb and Longstaff, Hayden, perhaps even Shelby, to be fair, is they'll get the ball perhaps halfway line and they'll play a nice ball out wide, and then them just stop. They just stop.
I wonder if that's what they're being told to do.
Maybe
The defensive basis on which
100%. It is. I don't for a minute doubt it. And the reason that I look back at that and say they are being told to play like that is when Bentaleb came and he played his first game for us it was the cup game.
Oxford
at
at home it was, yeah.
He basically was telling everybody what to do in that midfield, where to go, where he should be going. He was backwards and forwards, and he looked brilliant. Fast forward 2 weeks later, because we had a weekend off before he then came back for the next game. So they'd had time in training to drill and to get organised.
It's Oxford away again, wasn't it?
And,
He had a decent game against Oxford away, though.
Yeah, but what you noticed was him and Hayden just sat.
Because Longstaff was playing at 10.
Number
wasn't
10.
So they had 3 in midfield at that point. I think we did anyway.
No, it'll be before that.
Well, I don't know, but
Was it not? It'll have been Rochdale, man, wouldn't it?
No, he wasn't.
Rochdale, was that not when he had his debut?
Oxford at home was his debut.
Yeah.
And then he played the away leg.
Well, we must have another game between that and the
Norwich.
Oxford one then.
Yeah, Norwich, aye.
Norwich.
Norwich home.
Probably that one then.
That's easy to forget about it, in fairness to you. Like, it's an awful game.
Yeah, that'll be the one that
They've all
I'm
been
thinking
fucking
of then
awful,
where he just reverted back to what we've slagged the midfield off
Yeah.
about
fair-
doing. He
fair
just
enough.
did it.
So
So
it takes-
that's where I think he has to have been
The
told
first half,
to do it
there
like that.
was some positives to take from it. Obviously, before we get into the second half and tear the defence new Arsenal, but first off, there was some positive things. Miggy, Almiron once again looking lively going forward. Even for the criticism that Joe's coming under, the first half, he had a decent game, I would say. We spoke about last night. He had it on the left hand side. Took a couple of people off the ball, and he crosses it across to Lazaro. Lazaro does a bit of skill, gets his way through defence, and has a shot on goal. And he looked, or I don't want to go a bit over the top here. He didn't look fantastic, of course not. He looked all right.
Well, it's very telling that even Arteta commented on how good the front three played in the first half. He praised Joe Linton's hold-up play and linking in with the wingers.
I don't think there's any denying that in the first half. I don't think there is.
But,
I think
but you read what people are saying about it and the game and Joe Linton, and nobody sees that.
Because this is where we're going to get onto it.
I think that's within context, though, isn't it? I mean, if that's the first thing Arteta sees Joe Linton, he might be going, he looks okay, him. But to go 20, how many games, 35 now, in one goal, we've got that added context if we've seen him week in, week out. And I don't think he's been awful all the way through. There's like nuance that you were talking last night about it.
Yeah.
He's either brilliant or he's shite.
So there's
he's
no
either
in between,
man
is
of the match or
it?
he's fucking dreadful.
Yeah.
On Twitter, which is the same for anyone. That's just how Twitter
Yeah.
is and social media is really. Yeah. But yeah, there's games. I thought Norwich at home. There was another one I forget where he's Man United away on Boxing Day. He looked brilliant to start with, and then it just I don't know if his head goes down, or if he's just so isolated that he goes, what do I do now?
There's a couple of times where he wasn't getting decisions he was asking for, wasn't there? Where he spent a lot of time on the deck and he was constantly arguing, trying for the free kick. Do you reckon that's where he's just thinking, like, why am I even trying? But that's no excuse for me.
He has to be getting frustrated.
Yeah, of course.
Especially when, after that first half where, you can say we played well, but you've also got to say if Arsenal didn't really get going in that first half. And for me, that's probably the biggest difference in the game in the second half is Arsenal just came out and played.
They look very average
from the start.
Until half an hour in, they started to get a bit more about them.
Yeah.
Dubravka made a couple of easy-ish saves.
There's a reason why they're on the same amount of points as us. We're 31. The shit. I'm sorry. Well, were I? But you've got the two worst centre halves. I don't know, possibly ever actually. Louise and that Mustafi. They're absolutely garbage, I think. And we're not really testing them out, are we? I'm not
especially in the first half, we had a lot of free kicks in decent areas in that first half to get the ball in.
Longstaff,
no, it wasn't Lazaro taking.
Why is Longstaff taking free kicks?
Well, Lazaro was taking the corners.
Good corners as well.
He was taking the corners. You normally see Longstaff taking those. It was Lazaro taking them.
That assumed Lazaro would have taken that free kick based on where it was and his dead balls. And I mean, yes, we've seen Sean hit long shots and hit the target and stuff like that, but it's very different from a dead ball situation. I've never. That must be 3 or 4 free kicks I've taken him seen, and he's never hit the target yet.
I don't think we're blessed with someone that's decent at free kicks, mate. To be honest with you.
No, I think
Shelby has, Richie has.
I think Richie's dreadful from free kicks, shooting wise. I mean, you know what I mean. But going back, the biggest problem that we have again and again. First off, I'll talk about is getting people in the box. From memory, I think Saint did amazing again on the left, and Joe, maybe he was more confident. He might have took a touch and tried to turn. He done I don't know what the hell he did, but anyway, he shot and it went wide.
Was that the one where the ball was behind him?
That's what I mean. If he had took a touch with his left foot, why shoot from there when the ball's behind you?
It's a hard chance.
No, but what I'm saying though, why shoot? I'm saying why shoot? You just said the ball's behind him, so what are you shooting for? What are you shooting for? The ball's behind you?
He's trying to drag it from behind him, isn't he?
So why do that? Just take a touch. Just take the touch and either hold it, but you're in the 6-yard box, hold it up or try and spin and hit it.
Down to the byline, to the touch line.
He turns it around. He's not going to score with the ball behind him there.
Is it touch on, is it?
Not at all.
I don't know if it's touch on.
I'm not worried about the touch. If you look at it from the other angle, I think it's Almiron that's just stood open in the middle of the box.
I don't know if he's not.
Joe obviously doesn't know that. But if Joe's confident that he's not going to hit the target, and let's be honest,
he doesn't know, does he? He's trying.
He should know.
The thing is, the lad cannot win. If he doesn't try to shoot there, he gets slagged off for not trying to score. He tries to score, and he gets slagged off for missing.
If he leaves it for Almiron and
Saint just dies on the floor.
What I'm saying is, I'm not slagging him. What I'm saying, if he had more confidence, he may have took a touch, because as you say, the ball's behind him. It's physically impossible for him to score.
I don't think he's got the time there to have that.
It was
that
the ball was drilled
in fast over
like
that quickly. He's just trying to get something on it.
It's a different. I don't know whether. I mean, I literally couldn't remember where he was now, but I can't remember what's behind him. So whether he can or can't take a touch, I can't remember really.
There's no defender behind him, because if he had left it would have been Almiron.
I'm sure Almiron was just
There's no
in the middle
defender
of the box.
The only defender that's there is marking him goal side. the ball comes this way. So I was honestly watching it live. I thought, he'll take a touch here and then try and snap it with his right, or let it go for Almiron. That's not his fault. He doesn't. Almiron's there. I'm certainly not saying that.
But you think if he was under the impression that it was going to be hard to get that shot on target, which it was,
Impossible.
Was it really
As he's
hard
just
shot to
admitted,
have,
it was behind him.
then leave it and just hope someone's behind you.
But then Mark's probably right that he would have gotten a stick.
Would have got
leaving,
shit
isn't it?
for that, yeah.
If he leaves
Why
it,
is he not
David
taking a
Luiz
shot?
just pumps it
He
crazy.
cannot win. Cannot win.
But
Well, he can win. So I want to touch on this one. So there's another one where Sain picks it up on the halfway line, just over the halfway line, and you know where Sain's going with that. He's been doing it all day. All day. He's been running at the defender. He's been getting past him nearly, I would say, 90% of the time. And he cuts that ball back. Strict yard box.
He doesn't cut back, he flashes across the face of the goal.
When he's basically on the line. So it's coming back over. Well, it is, because it would hit the post.
It's a square pass.
It would hit the
It's
post.
a square
Hard
pass.
work,
If you
you
pulling it back, you're pulling it back into the box.
You're hard work,
But even if he had pulled it back, mate, there's still new one in the
No,
box.
fair. I'm not.
That was bad, bad. He wasn't even
But you've got-
on the edge of the box, mate. And
What
Miggy wasn't on that
Saint
side
has
of
to
the
do
yard
is
as well.
give people an opportunity in that situation.
What, slow down? I'm never
No,
asking a
but
winger to slow down.
at least get your head up and have a look.
No, I think a winger, if you're driving that ball in the box that well, you're expecting someone to at least be there to attempt.
That isn't a pass from him.
It is. That's not a
It's-
shot. But what is it?
He's smashing that across the face of the goal
Nah.
so somebody gets a touch.
Just hoping that someone. Something I don't understand is, I mean, for years on Match of the Day or whatever you watch Sky Sports stuff, they'll go on about how some forwards time their run in the box. They don't just burst in and get a 6-yard
Yeah.
box.
When's Joe trying to get there? Wednesday.
But that's the thing is, Joe Linton doesn't seem to be. He just doesn't seem to want to get in the
gone.
box.
He's gone.
I don't know, like.
Wednesday.
There must be, in training, there must be going, right, here's what we're going to do, and Joe Linton, you go
Yeah.
there.
But
there must be someone. They've got to be.
I'll tell you one of the issues that I've got, right? I heard Bruce after the game say, we have to remind Joe Linton to get in the box.
That's worrying.
We need to work
fucking
on that.
hell.
Which tells me that
Fucking
they're not.
No, listen,
working
listen,
on that.
listen. If you have to tell our number 9 that he needs to get in the box, we're fucked.
I think the word there
well, yeah,
is
but
remind,
you
as if he's already been told it
Come on,
before.
come on, Mark, come on. I
But
know
it's-
you're trying to defend him, and I hear you, and I'm with you for trying to defend him. But Christ Almighty, man, you're saying Sain has to look up or take his time or bollocks. Bless him, he had 2 or 3 players.
but
He's running like a fucking express train. He's just
that's-
trying to get it in the middle.
This is that opposite view that you've got. So in your eyes, Saint Maximin can do nothing wrong,
Oh, you can do wrong, like.
but you can't see Joe Linton do anything right.
No, but I haven't said that though, have I?
No, but that's
I haven't said that.
I'm not saying but that's the kind of the view of that. Because even when we're watching the game and stuff like that and talking over text, it was like Saint Maximin like this. Even when you were
Best player on
tweeting
the
and
pitch.
stuff like that.
Best player on the pitch. Well,
But he
maybe
doesn't always do everything right. But
No, yeah.
when he does things wrong, it gets overlooked.
Yeah, because
People don't pick on it.
well, it's a bit like Dubravka, to be fair, because Dubravka does so much well. When he does a mistake, you have to just let him off. And if Saint is the only single person that can beat a man on the fucking pitch, I seen a stat at the beginning of the game. He's completed 110 dribbles in 14 games.
But where's he gone with it? What's he done with it?
I know you're saying that, but then you'll turn around with the argument of Joe Linton's won 11 out of 10 headers and all this shit. So what's he done with that? He's held the ball up 40% of the time. He's completed 5 passes out of 6.
They both achieved the same
No,
thing.
but you retweet them and you bang on about.
I don't.
Well, you do. How well he's doing. No, but you do though. You'll put on one exactly, and everyone says he's shit, but he's won 10 headers out of 11. Well, what's he doing with them? So it's the same argument I'm giving back to you. You're saying shit, apparently.
I'm not
Well,
saying
not shit.
I'm not
but-
saying shit.
But what you're saying?
No,
though is-
what I'm saying is that
So you're
there's
telling-
very,
do you think
there's
Joe-
very,
I
very...
just twisted
No,
that. You said shit.
Didn't say that at all.
But he's saying I think Joe
That's
Linton's
why the
shit.
Bible's that thick. Remember that one?
I do say that, though, actually, it's true as well. I'm going to be honest, right? I am. 8 times, this is going to sound harsh, I think he looks like a centre half up front. 8 times. He has no idea where to run. He has no idea how to run off the ball, period.
And you know why?
Why is that?
Because he's not a number 9
And I've
striker.
heard this so many times. So if that's the question, you think he should play behind the striker? Is that what you're thinking, I think?
And
saying?
this chance that we're talking about now, which wasn't even a chance anyway,
Which one?
is the one where Saint Maximum gets in and puts it across the front of the
Go back
goal.
to that, sorry, for
Should have
one
been a chance.
Were you going, why is there nobody there? Did you not even, or did you go, it's okay, it wasn't his fault?
No,
What did you think?
I'm wanting somebody to be there, but what I'm saying is why not pull the ball? He probably does. you're looking at it two ways. You're probably just thinking, I'm here, I'm just going to smash it across the face of the goal
That's exactly
to get
right.
a touch onto
Yes.
it. But with a bit more intelligence, does he have the ability to get his head up and say, hold on, is there anybody actually in the box? Right, there isn't. However, there is people coming to the edge of the box. I'm not saying there was or there wasn't. But is that then where you can use a bit more intelligence just to play it back? Because as Besty says, some players arrive later into the box. What's the point of everybody flying towards... The defenders all did it. All of the defenders went flying towards the goal. So, as a striker, where's the best place for you to stand? Is it going to be in front,
It's
in
not on the
between all of
halfway
those
line where he
four?
is, though.
Or is it going to be penalty spot, edge of the box?
Well,
where
either,
you've got the space.
Either way, whatever the answer to that question is that Joe wasn't there.
I'd like to see
He's
anybody
never
keep. I'd like to see anybody keep up when say maximum.
It was something she had loads. You'd arrive in the box a little half second later in the ball. But by the same token, I do think that if you've got a winger who's getting to the byline, he's got to get the ball in as quickly as he can. If he's got that far, ironically, St Maximin will criticise him for holding on the ball for too long as well at times.
He did that a lot.
He does, and it's. But I think if he's beating the fullback, then the ball's got to go in the box. You kind of like have a touch look. Oh, he might be. He's got to trust that his centre forward is making that run. And
We're focusing on Joe there, but I'm putting the same blame on Miggy as well because he wasn't there.
Oh,
Yeah,
no,
yeah,
exactly.
oh, yeah.
That's what it has to be. It has to be your forwards.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
I'd love a Gary Speed to come in late and knock it in, to be honest. But we haven't got that type of midfielder that'll break his arse to get in there. But
Well, you have
you know,
if you play the right formation.
well,
because Sean did it last week
I
against
agree,
Oxford.
I think the
when we
argument
did it
now
like
is
that.
Perez
it
did it
time
for-
to change that front three?
100%. 100%.
It's not working.
So I would say no. Well, there's arguments for and against. Think of last season, for instance. You look at the first half of last season. We had Rondon come in there. Didn't look great. Didn't score a lot of goals in the first half of the season. Perez had probably his worst 5 months of football in the time that he's been at the club. We then signed Almiron in January. That front three changed massively, and the whole three of them clicked. And the reason was because they played as a front three. Almiron was up behind on the left-hand side. Perez was up on the right-hand side behind Rondon. Them three worked together. Rondon was always in front of the two. The difference is now they were playing a lot narrower as a three, a unit of three. You're now playing. You've got Almiron, which you would say is taking up that Perez position on the right side, albeit, as I've said many, many times, playing out much wider. You've got St. Maximin coming off the left side, which is where Miggy would have played. He's way out wider. He's not in there in the middle. And then you've got Joe, who's in the Rondon role, who he can't just stand up there in front and hold it because he knows there's nobody anywhere near him because his nearest players are either out on each of the touch line or back in their own half. So how can he link up with anybody there? What needs to happen is them three players need to play it together. Them two need to get closer. St. Maximin can't just play out on the wing. I know he picks it up in there and then wants to drive in or he wants to get up the wing, but he needs to link up more. It's not all about, and I know what you're saying,
But if
that
that's
he
the case,
wants
do
to
you not
dribble
have
and hit
to-
the line. Yes, it's exciting,
Do
but
you not have to change the formation at some point because the midfield?
I would.
I don't think that's working at all.
it's not. It certainly isn't working, is it?
Yeah, there's something not clicking.
I mean, when they keep on reeling out the stats about the fact that defenders have scored something like 3/4 of goals that
That's
Newcastle scored
worrying.
this season. It is worrying. It's nice that the goals are getting shared out.
Yeah.
It's good that you've got players
Well,
capable.
we've always been desperate for defenders to score goals at Newcastle United, and now it's only the defenders scoring the
At
goals.
the expense of the rest of the forward line. And it is something that I would kind of agree with both a bit that I don't. Maybe it's not a change of personnel because I don't think you would want to drop Almiron or St. Maximin because of the easily the most dangerous players we've got. And Joe Linton's kind of, for me at the minute, I don't dislike him particularly, but he's there by virtue of the fact that there's nobody else.
Nobody else.
You just look at the impact it had in the Oxford replay when Joe went off.
Yeah.
Was stopped attacking. There was no outlet. There was nobody to hold up the ball.
It did make a difference.
It made a massive. So
Is that not worrying that's not being addressed in the summer though?
well, it could have been.
sorry,
It
not
could
the
have been.
summer, in
Couldn't
the
it?
winter,
No,
sorry.
it could have been. However, we were told that we didn't need to because Carroll was going to be back, Gale was going to be back, Muto was going to be back. Two of them were meant to be back for the weekend. Where were they?
Carroll's never going to be the kind of player that
No,
gets you.
not at all.
He's fucked him.
And Gale, oh yes, he's not. And Dwight Gale, God love him, this is our third season back up now and he can't have played more than a dozen games.
Gale wouldn't be in here now if he hadn't got injured before January.
Yeah, I think you're
Not
right.
a chance.
Right, let's shift on to the goals because they're horrendous. It's no defensive mistakes, I wouldn't say. I don't think anyone's to necessarily. I don't think it's like, you know what we've seen in the past where we're passing balls back to players and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Defenders are just getting beat easily. I think that's what it is.
The first one, I know Lazaro's been hung for it, but Fernandes.
Both
What the hell's Fernandes
Fernandes and Lazaro, the man's just between the two of them, isn't it?
Lazaro, obviously, he's behind him, but for starters. But Fernandes can see that ball.
Yeah.
Is that the
Coming
Aubameyang
in.
header? First
The header,
one?
Yeah.
Fernandes is watching the ball and then for some reason goes, no, I'll not have it.
Gets a freestanding header.
But even
Yeah.
before
Freestanding
that,
header.
like I praised the shape in midfield and we're positioning in the first half. But that first goal comes from the lack of that, because there was an acre of space between Rose and St Maximum that their player just got into and put a great ball in. But if we kept the shape that we had and had that little bit higher, St Maximum could have stopped that. I'm not blaming him for that, but I'm saying if we'd have just kept the shape that we were, he would have been there to stop that cross from happening.
Something that did surprise us was Saint, actually, to be honest, I did think in that game, sorry, I'm going back a bit here. He did work quite hard defensively a few times.
There's a couple
Yeah,
times
I
he
was
on the
actually
edge of our
surprised.
box.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, I
The
was
shape in the
surprised.
midfield, first half, when we looked and played well, was brilliant.
I was also surprised that I've seen that pint glass move more than Rose.
Yeah.
So that was a shock. That was a shock. He was very good on the ball. I'm not going to deny he looked good on the ball, but jeez.
That was the worrying thing.
He
I
wouldn't
think
move? He wouldn't
it
move?
was late on in the first half, if I remember correctly. Were we shooting right
Yeah.
first half? So Rose picks the ball up. He passes it to Almiron. Almiron's got nowhere to go. He passes it back to Rose.
God,
And
yeah.
they're about this far away from each
Yeah,
other.
aye.
Next minute, Danny Rose hits it as hard as he bastard can at Almiron. He just didn't want the ball,
Yeah.
and you could clear he didn't want the ball. And he looked like he was blown out of his arse from like 30th minute, and like going into half time, then coming out of the second half, he looked like he started the second half how he ended the first, and that's after 15 minutes.
It's a strange one because you expect, obviously, with his history with Spurs and his pre-match comments and about the rivalry and you know North London and all of that kind of thing, that he would have been absolutely raring to go and wanting
Is it
to
fitness,
put
though?
on a show.
Got to be fitness. He hasn't played since for a while, but he looked well over.
that-
He looked
I mean,
unfit.
look, he did from signing.
If you think of it on paper, forget about what happened. That left-hand side of Saint and Rose, to me, honestly, fucking sounds amazing. It sounds
does.
absolutely amazing. Them two bombing at you. It's probably the most attacking
We
left-hand
saw
side
it
we've
switched,
had
didn't we?
since
At one point, Lazaro went over on the left-hand side.
They quickly sorted that out. Like,
Yeah.
I panicked then. Like, but
But I think that was just because they had a
Defence,
break, wasn't he? And he was
yeah.
staying back.
sorry, I've digressed a bit there. Apologise, but I just thought Rose was surprisingly not moving.
And again, based on the first few times that we've seen him, and not having an opportunity to be able to be told any different, is he being told that against this is you need to be more rigid, keep your shape?
I don't believe that because we're seeing the right-hand
No,
side
wing
bombing
back, you
forward.
would've thought,
Yeah. We've seen the right-hand side.
Lazaro was in their box at one
He
stage.
looked decent in the first half.
To be fair, the only player that did get in the box was him. I think Joe Linton doing brilliant on the wing. I'm going back to the first half, I apologise. He crossed the ball over full length of the field, and Lazaro done a bit of skill.
He did look decent first half.
did
Second
look-
half, he looked like he never played
If
football.
I'm being
It was like-
honest,
Worst 10 minutes you'll see.
if I'm being honest, I probably wouldn't have started Lazaro. I would have had Yedlin and
Yedlin
Rose,
wasn't even on the bench.
and I would have thought I would have been more comfortable with Rose in the team than
do you
Lazaro.
think, looking at what happened, do you think Richie should have just kept his position and continued?
Yeah.
Do you think? Or?
Yeah.
In hindsight, yes,
I think
but
the problem you have is
but I wouldn't
Rose,
have done that before the game.
Rose has to get minutes. He has to play at some
Yeah,
point.
has to
You
play.
can't, he's not match fit. He's only going to get match fit by playing games.
But he's
So
never-
he has to play.
He made
in
it the full game though.
Yeah.
90 minutes he
Yeah.
made it, and we could see in the first half
Oh,
he was knackered.
I never
How's
thought-
he made 90 minutes?
Yeah.
But he didn't even look like he broke a sweat.
Well, he was sweating though. But I get no. I zoomed in on him. He was pissing, and he hadn't even moved. He hadn't even moved.
Right, so their second
Sorry,
goal,
sorry.
it's another one over on the left-hand side.
Lazaro.
It's
Yeah,
Lazaro and Bentaleb as well. I don't just want to solely put the blame on Lazaro.
Yeah. Can we talk about Bentley for a second? What, you thought? Oh, lads.
There was a couple of times.
What for the goal?
Thinking back to the
All
Oxford
of it,
game.
just him.
Thinking back to the Oxford game and how well he did, and some of the little touches. He was like quarterback and the ball left, right, and centre. He just seemed to want too much time on the ball. I thought there was a couple of times I remember he had the ball at his feet, and he just get pinched off and they're away, and he just doesn't look right. Doesn't look right.
For me, when I watch him, he's only interested. You know, you have them kids at five-a-side and you play in the yard and that. And if you had the ball, get it me, I'll have it.
No.
But then when we lose it, I don't want it now. He doesn't track back, doesn't tackle, everyone was just running past him. People call Shelby for that.
Yeah.
Honestly, I counted, well, I lost count, how many times people just went past him and he's just, it's alright. But when we get the ball, then he wants to know. When we have the ball, well, I'll have it. But I agree, he wants too much time on the ball, and he's the type of centre midfielder that we just don't need at the club. Well, no, the club is a bit harsh. What I mean, though, we've got all them players, man, that'll just not really work that hard, and they'll pass sideways and backwards a little bit. Shelby does that. Hayden can do that. I'm sure fucking Sean can do that. Matty's got more legs than any of our midfield have to offer. And I honestly thought when we signed Bentley, he was the type of player that would carry the ball, would collect the ball and carry it. He won't. He won't.
But I think he is.
Nah, I'm unsure.
Do you think he is that player?
I think he is. When you look at how he's played previously and stuff like that, and how what I saw in that first game.
Yeah, but
that is exactly the player I saw.
That's a league too. I still say, I know you mentioned that. I was at the Oxford game. I still thought he was like a deep line player. He still was quite deep, and he wasn't really bombing on. He wasn't carrying the ball. And I put that down to, well, he hasn't played since March, so maybe I'll give him a bit of time. Definitely the lad has quality. You can't deny that, right? On the ball, he looks like a Rolls Royce at times. But I worry when we haven't got the ball. That's when I worry. People were just walking past him. That lad with the shit hair, number 8, hasn't played. He hasn't. No, was he called some Spanish kid? Never played.
I know what you mean.
But was his first
Looks like
start?
Spanish. Gareth
Oh,
Bale.
he's Spanish. Hasn't played in about 40 years apparently. Run the fucking show. Run the show. Couldn't get near.
He should have been booked about 10 times.
100%. But at least the fuck I was tackling. Bentley didn't get booked because he wouldn't fucking go near anybody. I agree, he should have been booked. I do agree with that one.
So
but
the second goal, Bentley, he's right there. He could get a foot in.
Of course he could.
He flicks it out.
You've got Lazaro standing off the lad.
Well, Lazaro didn't react to the through ball.
No, yeah.
He did. He was fucked, like, but I agree.
He didn't react to the ball, and then it wasn't until he went, oh, actually, there's somebody running through there. He then went, and then Megs, and then that was the worst thing for me. He just left it.
He just turned around and kind of.
It was as if he's went, oh, I've been negged.
My worry was when we conceded that first goal was his head mentally, because it looked like his fault at first. You could say the people were like, you could see people like Fernandez was not having a go at him, but was pointing and certainly saying that was your man. Within 5 minutes, he gets fucked again on that side. And the point that I made in the first half about us getting in wide areas, their lad gets in the wide area. There's 4 in the box. And the lad who scores just leaves Rose.
But
like,
that is the difference between
a
midfield that wants to get forward and support your forwards than a midfield that just wants to sit on the edge of the box.
Too many of our players are quite happy to just pass the ball 5-10 yards and that's my job done.
And that comes back to that
Goodman.
Just being comfortable and sitting and absorbing pressure.
So
you've got to turn it off.
Wasn't it, if I remember right? Ozil's third goal. So it's a Premier League first this season where every single player touches the ball.
Like 20 passes, wasn't it?
Yeah, so every single Arsenal player touches that ball.
Can any of you remember that there was a pass that happened on the lead up to that goal where 3 players went to one lad and he just passed it straight to one of them, just took 3 or 4 players out of the game, and one lad ran from their half basically to our box. And there wasn't a single challenge or a single black and white shirt. And I'm going to lose it in a second.
Well, the thing is
I'm going to lose
before that happened, we actually started getting back into the game because we had that mad 5 minutes of conceding them 2 goals, but then after that, it then settled down and we started coming back into it. Saint hit the post. Clark had a massive. Clark had a massive chance before that, didn't he?
What? Wish Joe Linton was in them areas.
That was after a corner, though, wasn't it?
I don't know what it was, but he was in the fucking 6-yard box. And
it
was gone wide. It was gone wide, even before the deflection. He has to score there.
Saint does well when he gets that ball, when he hits the post as well. He's beat so many defenders. He's beat the keeper.
You know that bit of like, I mean like real class. You know, you see it from like, say, there's loads of players in the world, obviously, that are really next level, where they have that about them. That effort by Saint there was that little next level, wasn't it? I appreciate it hit the post, and it is what it is. It's one of them where you've conceded 2 shit goals. It could have been 2-2, right? Could have been, right? Because Clark should have scored,
I honestly thought we're getting back into this game because
we didn't deserve nothing from it, because that second half was diabolical in my opinion.
I think it from then that's when it then went because.
And sorry, I know we're on about the third goal. Now, can I just say something about this formation, right? So, this is where I'm going to lose it, I think, with Bruce here as well. So, he's been there how long now? 7 months, 8 months?
Bruce, yes, in the summer.
July, innit?
9 months it'll be now.
Let's just say every single game.
What I'm concerned of at the moment, what I'm watching, right, is that we have 0 plan B. So, we'll play like Rafa did, 5 at the back, blah, blah, blah. When we went to 4 at the back again, I've never seen a more disorganised team in Premier League
I agree.
history.
Did the same at Leicester.
In Premier League history.
And the thing is, 5 at the back was Rafa's plan B.
It was.
Not
well,
number one, but
yeah,
Rafa this,
I
Rafa
know what
that,
you're
because
saying,
that happened.
No.
But that was the change Rafa made because it wasn't working, so you can't
Yeah. Secure it at the back.
Yeah.
I cannot believe that Bruce every week says that I don't want to play this way, I don't want to play this way, I don't want to play. And every week you work with them in training, and then when you change formation for your plan B to be more attacking, you don't even look like a fucking team, man. There's nothing there, man.
I think the problem is that
Nothing.
when you look at the bench to see what changes can I make, and there's not really that much choice, is
the
there?
standard on the bench.
Like you say, the fact Yedlin wasn't there, we've got no strikers. All you've got really is midfielders and defenders to bring on, which is why we ended up having to put Hayden at right back.
Well, geez, he brought Hayden on and Richie. What the fuck? I didn't even know where they were playing, to be honest with you. I couldn't believe Richie didn't come on for Rose. When I seen Richie coming on, I was like, Rose will be coming off now. And then Richie went right midfield, attacking, and Hayden bombing on right wing. What the fucking hell's going on here, man? I could not believe what I was seeing.
To be fair, I think that was to try and stop Sacco playing, wasn't it? Because he
was doing well.
That was what got them back.
When I saw those subs make the
fantastic.
field, I literally went, I've literally got no idea what's happening. I don't know what formation we're playing in. I don't think half the players knew where they were supposed to be. And that was worrying. That was
as a
worrying.
Premier League outfit, changing formation to 4 at the back, you shouldn't be that disorganised. They looked completely. I know it went to be 4 because they scored 2 very quickly after that as well. It could have been so many more after we went to 4 at the back. Literally, the midfield didn't have a clue. Centre halves are getting pulled all over the place. Literally, we were a shambles.
It's concerning, isn't it, that rigid.
Yeah.
That there's no alternative to it. Must be 5 at the back. If basically 7 at the back because the way the 2 centre midfielders play out.
Exactly.
And that's why I'm thinking, just because that's the way we play, that's impacting on the new players that are coming in, and Bentalab's reverting to that type because that's what happens in the team. That's the way they play. That's what he's meant to do.
Me worry is...
Nazar's not a right back, so I don't know why we're playing him right back.
Well, I agree with that. I agree slightly.
That's why I wouldn't have started him.
I think he's a winger, isn't he, first and foremost?
He's 100%, so why get him to play?
Yeah.
Because people complain that Yedlin can't defend, but you put in a right winger in a defensive position.
Yeah. Well, it's one of them where it's that new signing thing. You just get him in the team somehow. I agree with what you're saying.
Which is why I would have looked at changing the formation from what we are.
My worry is, right, and I've sat here for week after week after week, right, being happy with what's happening, and the players haven't been given up, and we've been getting results. My concern is every week I watch it will get worse. But we've been getting results at times, so it weathers that storm, and you're like, well, you know, there's another week in training, and the new lads have come in, we've got new players, Rose is going to be getting fitter, and there's Cesaro kid, Bentaleb's in there, and I'm trying to be more optimistic, I'm trying to think it'll get better. Every time I watch it will get worse.
Okay.
And I'm concerned. I'm fucking concerned.
The thing is, though, every podcast I listen to, talk about Newcastle, say that the 8-match unbeaten run was the worst.
Easy.
8-match unbeaten run. We've said it a couple of times, I think. And like, it's one of those things where it depends on the next result. If you've got an 8-match unbeaten run, then beat Arsenal, you go like, oh, they're doing all right.
Yeah.
Because for all it's that many games unbeaten, how many league games have they won in that time? I don't think it's any, is it?
Well, there's 4 that are just the cup games against the League Ones, yeah. So
draw
in that format.
Well, it was Everton away, Norwich, Wolves away was a great point.
Chelsea
to be
was
fair.
on them.
Chelsea
was
beat
away.
Chelsea, didn't we?
And the other ones are the League One games.
And our points fucking is what it is, right? It is what it is. It's a points business, and it is what it is. But I totally agree that any of them performances being good.
Nah, none of them. Wolves maybe the exception.
Maybe Wolves, and even then Dubravka stayed well. But
I thought Chelsea were playing. Chelsea were playing well.
I thought the Chelsea game was awful.
We were lucky, mate.
Terrible, I thought.
Oh, we're lucky
We were
to win.
And I
it, but-
suppose in a degree you're going to have to be lucky to beat a team like that. And I'll probably take that one on the chin, to be fair. That's fine. But look at the Oxford game at home. Sorry, I know we're talking about Arsenal. I'm sorry. But look at Oxford
But
at
you
home.
expect Oxford.
Full strength team.
You expect
Jesus
Oxford to come and
They should have won, man.
give them
They should have
everything,
won.
don't they?
They should have won.
It's what you
At home.
always see.
At our building. They should have won.
Right, I'm finishing it. I know we haven't gone through all the games,
Sorry.
but we've been going
Sorry.
far too long for this. At the start of this, I think I said we weren't going to go along.
Third goal, Ozil, disgraceful goal,
Dubravka chucks it in
disgraceful
the net.
defending. But I'm not going to blame Dubravka. We're set on his arse for 90 minutes
Yeah.
again. He's going to do the odd mistake. Get on with it. It's 3-0, doesn't matter.
No, the thing
Fourth
is,
goal, there's fucking shit
Becoming
defended
more and
again.
more regular, isn't it?
In the luckiest goal you'll ever see.
It kind of was last season as well, a bit.
Did you see that? Like I said, fucking arsehole. It hits his right. He hits it with his right foot. Hits his left and goes in.
that was it,
Even Joe Linton
that
couldn't
just-
even do that.
It was
Man.
Riviera,
It
wasn't it?
it just sums up that
But look at how much
that
space
game,
he had, man.
didn't it?
Look at how
Yeah.
much space he had.
The shape.
shape.
Lascelles was shocking.
He was terrible.
Lascelles was terrible.
He was
But all
terrible.
shocking at the back.
Rafa said all
That
along,
second
Shea can't play in 4. And he came on.
That's
he came
harsh on
on
Clark.
and my heavens above. He was terrible. When he
Clark
came
was
on.
all right
He should have scored.
until he got injured.
Should have scored. Yeah, how brave. I'm never going to criticise. And it's not his job to be up there and
No.
score. He should score, but
Yeah.
defensively the lad gets stuck in. Look at how he got injured.
Yeah.
Diving in again. Do you know what I mean? He tries his best, doesn't he? Tries his best.
But I'm still quite concerned. Like, I mean, I don't think it'll go down, but there's.
Oh, we're
There's a,
fucked.
there's a few
They're down.
questions. There's a few questions
Oh,
on the question
I'll
answer.
save that then. I'll save that then.
We're down. Right, see you later. See you in the question answer.